Welcome to Jersey Reads the Classics, an audiobook podcast delving into the finest works of our literary masters. Unfortunately, it's read by this woman.
What the hell? Who cares? Let's go on an adventure.
Hello, and welcome back to Jersey Reads the Classics with your host, Rosie DeCandia. Yeah, that's me. All right, my friends, you know the deal. Let's just go right into The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. And today we are moving on to Chapter 10, The Guardian of the Gate. It was some time before the Cowardly Lion awakened, for he had lain among the poppies a long while, breathing in their deadly fragrance. But when he did open his eyes and roll off the truck, he was very glad to find himself still alive. We're glad for that, too. I ran as fast as I could, he said, sitting down and yawning. But the flowers were too strong for me. How did you get me out? Then they told him of the field mice and how they had generously saved him from death. And the Cowardly Lion laughed and said, I have always thought myself very big and terrible, yet such little things as flowers came near to killing me, and such small animals as mice have saved my life. How strange it all is. But comrades, what shall we do now? Isn't that interesting? He's notating that even though he's big and burly and such a he's fearful animal, that all these little things, it's like the little things like having the Achilles heel, right? Little flowers, but what in your life is irritating the shit out of you when it's little, but yet it triggers you. I will talk about that later. Let's not get into the woo-woo right now. All right. We must journey on until we find the road of yellow brick again, said Dorothy, and then we can keep on to the Emerald City. So, the lion being fully refreshed and feeling quite himself again, they all started upon the journey, greatly enjoying the walk through the soft, fresh grass, and it was not long before they reached the road of yellow brick and turned again toward the Emerald City where the great Oz dwelt. The road was smooth and well paved now, and the country about was so beautiful, so that the travelers rejoiced in leaving the forest far behind, and with it the many dangers that had met in its gloomy shades. It's true about forests, even though it's like really healthy because there's like that forest bathing, that rainforest bathing where it's really good for your cortisol to meditate and stuff. Forests can be very scary. Imagine being in a dark, gloomy forest all by yourself. Put that image in your mind now. Not pretty, not pretty. Okay. But you know what? They've come out from the dark into the light, and once again, they're back on the yellow brick road. Okay, that's all I'm saying. All right. Once more, they could see fences built beside the road, but these were painted green, and when they came to a small house in which a farmer evidently lived, that also was painted green. They passed by several of these houses during the afternoon, and sometimes people came to the doors and looked at them as if they would like to ask questions. But no one came near them nor spoke to them because of the great lion, of which they were very much afraid. The people were all dressed in clothing of a lovely emerald green color and wore peaked hats like those of the Munchkins. This must be the land of Oz, said Dorothy. No shit, Sherlock. Hello? What gave you the inkling that everybody's wearing green? And we are surely getting near the Emerald City. Oh, good call. Yes, answered the Scarecrow. Everything is green here, while in the country of the Munchkins, blue was the favorite color. But the people do not seem to be as friendly as the Munchkins, and I'm afraid we shall be unable to find a place to pass the night. I should like something to eat besides fruit, said the girl, and I'm sure Toto is nearly starved. Let us stop at the next house and talk to the people. You know what, Dorothy? You should be thankful you even got fruit to eat. Some people don't even have that. And plus, you're working with what? I mean, good for you that you're going to try to find more food, but you're sick of eating fruit? There's nothing wrong with eating fruit. It's good for you. So, when they came to a good-sized farmhouse, Dorothy walked up boldly to the door and knocked. A woman opened it just far enough to look out and say, What do you want, child? And why is that great lion with you? We wish to pass the night with you, if you will allow us, answered Dorothy. And the lion is my friend and comrade, and would not hurt you for the world. Is he tame? Asked the woman, opening the door a little wider. Oh, yes, said the girl, and he is a great coward, too. He will be more afraid of you than you are of him. Well, said the woman after thinking it over and taking another peep at the lion, if that is the case, you may come in, and I will give you some supper and a place to sleep. So They all entered the house, where there were, besides the woman, 2 children and a man. The man had hurt his leg and was lying on the couch in a corner. They seemed greatly surprised to see so strange a company, and while the woman was busy laying the table, the man asked, "Where are you all going?" "To the Emerald City," said Dorothy, "to see the Great Oz." "Oh, indeed," exclaimed the man. "Are you sure that Oz will see you?" "Why not?" she replied. "Why, it is said that he never lets anyone come into his presence. I have been to the Emerald City many times, and it is a beautiful and wonderful place, but I have never been permitted to see the Great Oz, nor do I know of any living person who has seen him." "Well, who cares if you never got to see him? You don't know their experience, so now once again this schmuck is putting on like, are you sure the Oz is going to see you? It's like, don't shit on their dreams. You don't know. They may make a convincing argument to be seen." "Does he ever go out?" asked the Scarecrow. "Never. He sits day after day in the great throne room of his palace, and even those who wait upon him do not see him face to face." "What is he like?" asked the girl. "That is hard to tell," said the man thoughtfully. "You see, Oz is a great wizard and can take on any form he wishes, so that some say he looks like a bird, and some say he looks like an elephant, and some say he looks like a cat. To others, he appears as a beautiful fairy or a brownie. Oh, I could go for a brownie right now. Or in any other form that pleases him. But who the real Oz is, when he is in his own form, no living person can tell. Right there, I don't trust the Oz. Why don't he want to show who he really is? Why is he coming in different forms? Just to show that he is magic and that he can be anything he wants? And why would he come to you as a brownie? I don't want some brownie talking to me. Unless it's saying to me, eat me, bitch, because you're hungry. And I taste good. Okay. "That is very strange," said Dorothy. "But we must try in some way to see him, or we shall have made our journey for nothing." "Good on you, Dorothy. That's smart, you see. She's not listening to this old man." "Why do you wish to see the terrible Oz?" asked the man. "I want him to give me some brains," said the Scarecrow eagerly. "Oh, Oz could do that easily enough," declared the man. "He has more brains than he needs." "And I want him to give me a heart," said the Tin Woodman. "That will not trouble him," continued the man, "for Oz has a large collection of hearts of all sizes and shapes. How does this guy know that he has all this if he's never seen Oz before?" "I do have a question, though. Is he Oz, appearing to them as the man with the injured leg?" "I don't know, because this is not happening in the movie, so I can't tell you, but I think it's interesting how he's commenting that, oh, he's got brains, he's got hearts for you and all that, and then he's saying that he appears in all these different forms." That was a good thought process. I like that. Maybe this is some foreshadowing. Okay. "And I want him to give me courage," said the Cowardly Lion. "Oz keeps a great pot of courage in his throne room," said the man, "which he has covered with a golden plate to keep it from running over. He will be glad to give you some." "And I want him to send me back to Kansas," said Dorothy. "Where is Kansas?" asked the man with surprise. "I don't know," replied Dorothy sorrowfully, "but it is my home, and I'm sure it's somewhere." "Very likely. Well, Oz can do anything, so I suppose he will find Kansas for you. But first, you must get to see him, and that will be a hard task, for the Great Wizard does not like to see anyone, and he usually has his own way. But what do you want?" he continued, speaking to Toto. Here we go. I'm not the only one that wants Toto to speak. You see? Alas, someone else is now talking to Toto and wants Toto to answer. This guy knows way too much about Oz, so if he's never seen Oz, I'm going to talk to him. I think he's Oz. This is convincing me he's Oz. Toto only wagged his tail, for strange to say, he could not speak. "Thank you, we know." The woman now called to them that supper was ready, so they gathered around the table, and Dorothy ate some delicious porridge and a dish of scrambled eggs and a plate of nice white bread and enjoyed her meal. So she gave up her fruit for a lot of carbohydrates. I guess she's young, she's going to burn those carbohydrates, and she's like, bitch, I need the porridge and I need the bread, so let's get on this. So now she's had that, which is good. The lion ate some of the porridge, but did not care for it, saying it was made from oats, and oats were food for horses, not for lions. The Scarecrow and the Tin Woodman ate nothing at all. Toto ate a little of everything, and was glad to get a good supper again. How do we know? His tail wagged. The woman now gave Dorothy a bed to sleep in, and Toto lay down beside her, while the lion guarded the door of her room so she might not be disturbed. The Scarecrow and the Tin Woodman stood up in a corner and kept quiet all night, although, of course, they could not sleep. They never mention the two kids, even though there's two kids talking. And don't you notice how she got her own bed? What do they have? A 4-bedroom house? Oh, that's right. They had a good-sized farmhouse. Okay. Still thinking the man with the broken leg is Oz. Maybe Oz has been the bird and all these other things that have been going along. Ah, look at me thinking. I got a brain sometimes, and sometimes I don't, but I'm human. The next morning, as soon as the sun was up, they started on their way and soon saw a beautiful green glow in the sky just before them. That must be the Emerald City, said Dorothy. As they walked on, the green glow became brighter and brighter, and it seemed that at last they were nearing the end of their travels. Yet it was afternoon before they came to the great wall that surrounded the city. It was high and thick and of a green, bright color. In front of them, and at the end of the road of yellow brick, was a big gate, all studded with emeralds that glittered so in the sun that even the painted eyes of the Scarecrow were dazzled by their brilliancy. There was a bell beside the gate, and Dorothy pushed the button and heard a silvery tinkle sound within. Then the big gate swung slowly open, and they all passed through and found themselves in a high arched room, the walls of which glistened with countless emeralds. Before them stood a little man about the same size as the Munchkins. He was clothed all in green from head to his feet, and even his skin was of a greenish tint. At his side was a large green box. When he saw Dorothy and her companions, the man asked, "What do you wish in the Emerald City?" "We came here to see the Great Oz," said Dorothy. The man was so surprised at this answer that he sat down to think it over. "It has been many years since anyone asked me to see Oz," he said, shaking his head in perplexity. "He is powerful and terrible, and if you come here on an idle, foolish errand to bother the wise reflections of the Great Wizard, he might be angry and destroy you all in an instant." "What the hell is that? Please." I'd be like, yeah, well, you just go tell him we're here to see him. We've come a long friggin' way, schmuck. "But it is not a foolish errand, nor an idle one," replied the Scarecrow. "It is important, and we have been told that Oz is a good wizard." "So he is," said the Green Man, "and he rules the Emerald City wisely and well. But to those who are not honest, or who approach him from curiosity, he is most terrible, and few have ever dared to ask to see his face. I am the guardian of the gates, and since you demand to see the Great Oz, I must take you to his palace. But first, you must put on the spectacles." "Why?" asked Dorothy. "Because if you did not wear spectacles, the brightness and glory of the Emerald City would blind you. Even those who live in the city must wear spectacles night and day." "That is very suspect. They gotta wear spectacles because it's so bright and shiny and green. I ain't buying any of this shit. That's all I'm gonna say. Please. Now I'm going to be told I have to wear spectacles. It's like, you know how they say rose-tinted glasses, green-tinted glasses? That's what I think is coming down here. Okay. "They are all locked on, for Oz so ordered it when the city was first built, and I have the only key that will unlock them." Oh, now I got to wear glasses locked, so I can't even take my motherfucking glasses off? What is this? I mean, obviously, this definitely is not a democracy here. And the Oz has something to hide. I ain't buying it. And he's probably the guardian right now at the damn gate. He opened the big box, and Dorothy saw that it was filled with spectacles of every size and shape. All of them had green glasses in them. The guardian of the gates found a pair that would just fit Dorothy and put them over her eyes. There were 2 golden bands fastened to them that passed around the back of her head, where they were locked together by a little key that was at the end of a chain the guardian of the gates wore around his neck. When they were on, Dorothy could not take them off had she wished, but of course she did not wish to be blinded by the glare of the Emerald City, so she said nothing. So they're locked on, and this guy at the gate has the friggin' key. How comfortable could that be? Imagine living in a city 24/7 that you have to wear, even in your own home, glasses, locked on. How do you sleep? How do you fare in life? I'm asking too many questions. Right now we're wearing masks and people are complaining about that. I'm not even going to go into that political whole statement. Just wear the fucking mask, please. Just show kindness and let's be nice to each other and considerate. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Then the Green Man fitted spectacles for the Scarecrow and the Tin Woodman and the Lion, and even on little Toto, and all were locked fast with the key. Then the guardian of the gates put on his own glasses and told them he was ready to show them to the palace. Taking a big golden key from a peg on the wall, he opened another gate, and they all followed him through the portal into the streets of the Emerald City. Good lordy, lordy, lordy. I don't know. I ain't trusting this whole situation. lots of red flags. Well, green flags are going off on my head right now. All I'm going to say. No one is seeing Oz. He can take many forms. You got to put on these glasses. No one's seen him, and I don't know what he looks like, blah, blah, bluey, but he is all this great and wonderful things. What has he done for the Guardian lately? What has he done for... What have you done for me lately? All right. Man, I'm persnickety today. I just think I'm in a persnickety mood. So that's not very woo of me. I'm just allowing it, though, to flow through me. All right. Breathe. Calm down. I know. Okay. So, my friends, isn't it interesting that these kids... First, I want to talk about really quickly how Dorothy was sick of having fruit. She's sick of having the same meal, and she's like, I got to find food, and I'm just going to knock on the door. She was bold. The bitch was bold, and I love it. And that's kind of like in your life. Where right now are you needing help? We've talked about this multiple times, and are you asking for it? Dorothy did not care. That's the thing about kids. When they need something or they have their mind on something, they just friggin' do it. And it's something that we can learn from them. Dorothy's a child in this story, right? What is she, 12 years old? I don't even know. But the point is, she knows that she needs more sustenance than frickin' fruit. And she's like, and we need a place to stay. And she had no problem. And you know, she was smart. She discerned what was a house that was going to be able to feed them and let them sleep there and fit 4 people and a dog. And where did she go? The good-sized farmhouse. So she asked, she received, and she even got more than she thought. She even got her own damn bed. Isn't that nice? So I'm just going to encourage you to think about what are the things that you are waiting on to ask for because you're afraid to ask. You know what? All the person can say is no. So in a nutshell, let's learn a little from Dorothy. Let's become big grown-ups, put our big girl and big boy pants on and friggin' ask for what we need and just go after it. What's the big deal? All they can say is no. But the thing is, the point in you asking, don't worry, the universe will send something else. So we've touched on that before, so I'm not going to keep going on that tirade. But then when they're in the house, Dorothy encounters the husband who's injured. So he's sitting on the couch and he's like, so where do you want to go? And they're like, we're going to see Oz. And he's like, oh, Oz, no one's seen him. I mean, honestly. And they're like, yeah, well, we got to go. And what's interesting, it's like we've talked about this too. Someone else's perceptions. The fact is this man supposedly, allegedly, has never seen Oz, never been able to see him, doesn't know a damn thing about Oz. But then he tells the whole diatribe how he can take on many different forms, yet he's got hearts and brains and courage overflowing and anybody can help you with Oz. But yet he's telling them no one gets to see Oz. So he knows that there's all this goodness and all this can happen and Oz is the answer, but at first he's like, well, he doesn't see anybody. And that's, once again, someone else's perception clouding your perception. Someone else telling you, when you say, well, I'm going to go after this and I'm going to do this. I wouldn't do that. That's tricky. That's a very, I don't know about that. I had a friend who tried that. Didn't work out. Or I tried that a few years ago. Didn't work out for me. Well, you're a different person. And you have a different destiny. And there's different energy. So I want to just say, let's not let trolls and haters fog up our vibration. I mean, I don't think the guy was being a hater. I think he was just trying to be, in his sense, realistic. But what happens when those perceptions start seeping in, like these guys are just thinking they're going to get to Oz, they're going to ask for what they need, and Oz is going to grant them. And this guy already has told them, well, now it's hard to see Oz. Well, they haven't believed that this whole time. And because they're naive and innocent on the journey, thinking like, well, our goal is to see Oz, they've gotten through the lake, the river, the poppy fields, over the ditches, have escaped the Kaladas, all these wonderful things because they know their goal and they haven't been tainted and told that they won't be able to see Oz. Because what could happen is this. If they were told a few chapters ago, well, Oz, you may not see him, they might be deterred and be like, oh, shit out of luck, we're going to do all this for nothing. So I do love the fact, though, that Dorothy's like, well, we're still going to see him. And the next day they get up and they're like, on you, we're going to see the great man Oz. But I do think it's also interesting how that man was kind of forewarning them. However, he flipped the switch and told them, once you do get to see Oz, if you do, he has all those things for you. Now, once again, it's kind of putting their hope and their dreams and stuff in something external. And that's something that I think is interesting. They're all looking outside of themselves, what they already have. The Tin Man already has heart. We know the Scarecrow has brains, and we know the Cowardly Lion has courage. And Dorothy, yes, she may not physically be home, but she has the feeling of Aunt Sam and Uncle Henry, and I'm sure we're going to learn Dorothy's lesson. But remember, all of those characters around Dorothy are an aspect of her, right? The courage, her mind, body, and spirit. And she already has them, but when we're in doubt, we look outside of ourselves. So the thing about this is I'm going to encourage you to think about, are you continuing, especially now, to look outside of yourself for that inner peace, for that serenity, for that calm, because now is a great time to find it. Because I know right now, a lot of things in the external world, they're triggers for all of us. Trust me. I get triggered too by the trolls on social media or what have you. People that are just saying things and you're like, I don't get it. I say one thing and you're not even something bad and you all jump on me, but I do all these positive, healthy stuff, but yet no one is commenting and sharing of that good stuff. But we're not going to talk about that. I know, I'm persnickety today. I'm a little wound up, but you know what? That just goes to show you I'm human, okay? So I'm just going to encourage you to think about what or who would have said, what has somebody said something to you that's preventing you from going after your dreams, your visions, and your goals, and how you can start to get clear as to what it is that you need to stay focused on. Now, with that being said, we've talked about that also, so I'm not going to spend another 10 minutes on that. And lastly, what I do think I want to talk about really quickly is the fact that they've gotten to the gate and that now they have to put on these glasses. So, you know, like in life, they always say, oh, stop wearing your rose-tinted glasses because sometimes you're seeing things through another lens instead of the real lens. I think it's interesting. They're right here, right now. They've come to their destination for now. And they're told to put on these glasses that because it's so sparkly in Emerald City that it's there for their protection. They're literally being locked into these glasses. They don't even have a say. And you know, it kind of just like says to me, like sometimes where do we think we're keeping ourselves stuck in a belief system that we have locked into? That is not the truth, because there's a reason why they're being told to wear these glasses, right? I'm sure it's not all green and sparkly in there. Oz has some devious plan, or it's his thing where it's a facade, and so people are going to see what he wants them to see. Where in your life are the lens, we've talked about this, that you're looking through, that you are stuck in something and you're locked into that's not the truth? Now, the truth of it could be that you think that your dreams are never going to happen, or you don't have what it takes to sustain or go further with your dreams and visions, or you know you're never going to attain that level of success that you've always wanted, or into level or ever attain that inner peace and that solace and that serenity that you're so searching for. And I think what I'd like to encourage you right now is to drop any expectations you have of yourself right now. I mean, what is going on right here, right now, in this historical moment of time, is that we are experiencing a pandemic. Our life is not what we knew it before, which I think that's the point. It's a big shift for all of us. But now it's a shakeup for you to shift how you're seeing your world. Because what we used to see, my friends, is what other people have shown us. And that's not always the truth. So I'm going to encourage you to think about the belief systems that you held because maybe you were shown that or taught that, or because society has ingrained this in our heads, in our minds. And now, because of this pandemic, because it's unearthed a lot of truth about what's happening, not just the pandemic, but, you know, the protesting for Black Lives Matters and what have you, what has become apparent or revealed to you that you no longer believe in? That you say, oh my goodness, I believe that, but it really wasn't my belief system. It was because I was shown something through a different lens. And so I'm going to encourage you to think about some shifts that have been happening over the past few weeks, months even, that are now showing you that you've taken the rose-tinted glasses off about whatever it is, the government, the big gap in the wages, the big gap in, wealth, the wealth gap, who's got everything, who has nothing. There's a lot that's going on that's being revealed. And I think a lot of us have known that. Unfortunately, it just has not been out to masses of us because now we're forced to see the truth. And it's all going to just keep unearthing. Like, it's just going to keep happening. So I don't see it as a bad thing. What I'm going to encourage you to do, though, is to just revisit old belief systems that you no longer believe, and now think about other belief systems that are preventing you from moving further in your life, and see how you can maybe take the glasses off about that and that fixed notion, and maybe readjust your lens or your vision on something, and that you can now accomplish the goals, dreams, and visions you have for either yourself or for your dreams or forever your future. I think, a lot of us are sitting here thinking like, we don't know what the future holds. But honestly, we never did. It's just that right now, we're really learning the value of not having a sense of control. And we've talked about this. We never really have control of anything in our lives, just of our reactions and what we put out there. But at the end of the day, things are going to happen. And I think what this is showing us is that this is really beyond our control. We don't know when a vaccine is going to happen. We don't know when things are going to just, get back to, and I don't want to say normal because that was not normal what we used to live either. A lot of things have been revealed. So it's a shift in consciousness, and it's a shift in how our planet is going to be after this pandemic. So what I'm just going to encourage you to do is try to continue to think about releasing control, and if you can, surrendering, and start staying in a place of feeding yourself the good things, the things that feed your mind, body, spirit positively, and knowing that right now, whatever the seeds you're planting, your thoughts, the things that you're doing quietly, whatever you can do from your home, whatever you're planting now is what's going to come to fruition in 6 months, a year, 2 years. We don't know because time also is a human construct, but it's not on your time. It's on the universe's time. So just going to throw that out there. And I know these are themes we've talked about over probably the multiple books I've done. But I think these are all themes that are very relevant. And what's important is that these can apply to right now. All these lessons can apply to exactly where we are right here, right now, because everybody is feeling a sense of loss of control, or understanding that we don't have control, and also the unknown. We don't know. And once you embrace the unknown and just say, I'm going to be in the present right here, right now, and what am I planting today that'll grow tomorrow, you know what? You're going to find yourself in a healthier mind, body, spirit way. And you're going to feel a lot more peace and calm and serenity. And that's what we're all about doing this work. It's about getting back to the place of you, going within, finding out and knowing that you are enough and you are worthy to receive. But you're also worthy because you are who you are. And that is enough. And doing this work doesn't mean you're less than. It's just becoming better versions of ourselves. Does it mean that we're bad? No. And I've said this before, it's just enhancing who we are. We evolve. And during these times like this pandemic and everything else that's going on, it's an opportunity and a chance for us to grow. So how are you growing? How are you glowing up? You know what I mean? And the way we do that with growing is doing the work internally and questioning things that no longer serve us and releasing the things that no longer serve us and moving on and finding out, and challenging ourselves to think outside the box. And to challenge ourselves, like to even face our demons and the triggers and why is it triggering you and how I need to release it. Because once you do all this work of unearthing this crap, it allows space for good things and better things to come into your life. Now, will crap never be there? No, crap's always going to be there because you came here for the experience. But doesn't mean you came here just to sit in silence and be a sheeple. You also can be an active participant in your life. That's the point. You want to actively participate in your growth, your development, your evolving, your evolution. So do the work. Love yourself. Take care of yourself. And especially now during this very difficult time, I'm hoping whoever watches this video or hears my podcast gets a little grain of inspiration that they follow whatever something has inspired you, right? And maybe if you are watching this video right here, right now, chances are you needed to hear these words today. That, you know what? If you get that flicker of inspiration from somewhere you never thought, and you're like, wait a second, where'd that come from? But you suddenly feel passionate about it, don't let anyone or anything tell you can't do it. No. I know right now everything seems a little screwed up, but it's a breaking down. It's a dark night of the soul, so everybody can emerge better. And so we just want to emerge better and to be our best selves. And that's what I wish for yourself, myself, for all of us, for the collective. Well, with that being said, I hope you're staying in a very safe and sane place, and know that I'm sending you tons of love, light, peace, joy, and bliss, and all that good stuff, and knowing that we are all human, and we are here to be human, and we should be kind to ourselves and gentle to ourselves. And do we all have the answers? No, we don't. We're not supposed to have the answers, but it doesn't mean we can't go on the journey to find out the answers that we need to know when we need to know them. I'm going to say that, and there we go. And I'm wishing you well, and stay beautiful, and keep knowing you are worthy and you are enough. And once again, I'm just going to remind you, right now, someone is thinking of you. You are missed, and you are so loved. Bye now.